MJF has just gone from the wrestling scene. So, what happened? What led to this mysterious disappearance of MJF? Let's find out. This all starts before Double or Nothing. On Saturday 28th of May, MJF did not appear at a FanFest event organised for the promotion that day. This was for Double or Nothing, and you could meet many AEW superstars here. One of these people was meant to be MJF. Many people paid hundreds of dollars to see MJF, but he did not appear. Now, there's already speculation that MJF wanted to leave the company as he did not feel appreciated with where he was at, and he makes this very clear later on in the story. So we knew MJF had some issues with his contract, but this was a very random event. People paid hundreds of dollars to meet MJF, and when they went to his meeting area, he was not there. And people on social media went crazy. They were wondering what happened to MJF. There are reports of plane tickets being booked in his name to leave Las Vegas. Now, most people thought this was due to some frustration with the company, and that's what it ended up being. However, the report of the plane ticket was really dodgy, as nothing was really confirmed for that, and it really came to nothing. It was reported that AEW personnel were so concerned with MJF's safety that they considered arranging for his hotel to be busted in to check up on him. People were concerned for MJF and whether or not he would show up. So we get to Double or Nothing, and fans in the arena are still wondering whether or not MJF will show up to this event. People are watching this pay-per-view just to know if MJF will show up, so it definitely made people watch the pay-per-view. And people are also quite worried for Wardlow. Will he get the moment he deserves of getting his first big win on pay-per-view and getting the spotlight on him? However, MJF does show up. He shows up and gets absolutely squashed by Wardlow. He shows literally no offense and gets powerbombed multiple times for being pinned and sent out on a stretcher. It was reported that MJF turned up only a bit before his match and left right after, showing that he didn't really want to be around backstage longer than he had to, which probably shows that he had some sort of heat or uncomfortable feeling backstage. Wardlow gets his moment, he gets the win, MJF is taken out on a stretcher, and this makes fans believe, does this mean he's been written off TV? Is Tony Khan trying to take MJF off TV for what he did at the FanFest? Because this FanFest costed, although not so much, it costed AEW £10,000 to run, and MJF not showing up is very, very unprofessional for the company. So Dynamite comes along from the forum in Los Angeles, featuring a shocking segment with top superstar MJF. Many people tuned in to watch this episode, as there was a lot of controversy surrounding MJF's name, and they wanted to see what he had to say. As soon as AEW announced this promo, fans were under the idea that this whole situation was a work. What this means is that AEW had planned this. However, if this is a work, fans paid their real money to meet MJF, does that mean that AEW just scammed their audience of their money just for an angle? Anyway, we get the promo, and it's one of the best promos that I've heard in a very long time. However, what was strange was that we saw MJF taken out on a stretcher after his match with Wardlow, and he had no injury here. It seemed like he'd broken the fourth wall with the audience. He had broken kayfabe, and this seemed legit. He took shots at Tony Khan for paying big money to ex-WWE guys, and talked about how they couldn't lace up his boots. He even begged to be fired from Tony Khan. MJF would call him a mark, but not that nicely. He said it in a very worse way, which was bleeped out on TBS broadcast, and his mic was turned off, and the broadcast will go to commercial. Now, we didn't see anything of MJF. However, while it was on commercial, CM Punk came out to confront MJF off camera. However, MJF left through the crowd, and there's actually a video of MJF as he leaves through the crowd pushing someone's phone out of their hand, which this all makes it seem very legit. People went crazy. The promo was one of the best that many people had seen, but people were still wondering, is this a work? Is this a shoot? Is MJF really in a heated situation with Tony Khan and AEW, or AEW gonna use this, turn this around and use it in a storyline? As soon as he came out under this promo, fans were under the impression still that MJF was just doing this for an angle. People thought this would be worked into a storyline, and people had come to the conclusion that all of this drama, the fact that he'd booked a plane ticket out, was all faked to enhance this angle, to make it seem like he's frustrated with the company. However, things got very, very serious. After delivering his now infamous pipe bomb in June, it would seem MJF has cut off all communication with anyone from the wrestling industry. Speculation had been circling for a while that MJF was not happy and wanted to move to WWE. It now been reported that there was no contact between MJF and anyone in the wrestling world since 1st of June. It's been said that MJF stayed in LA following his appearance on Dynamite. However, this was to have meetings for non-wrestling related projects. There were also reports that he was spotted with Impractical Jokers members in New Jersey. However, there's been no confirmation that he was filming for this show. Fightful Select commented that those they spoke to in AEW have not heard Tony Khan mention MJF since the promo took place. And you would think that if this was a work, Tony Khan would at least mention it backstage. But he has not spoken about MJF since the promo, and it seems like MJF has been cut off all programming. Warner Bros. Discovery took off all advertisement for MJF, and he's been removed from the roster on online. His merch is not on the store anymore, and it seems like MJF has been removed from AEW. However, probably still signed to them, as we know he's on a contract till 2024. Will he return to AEW programming? It's very uncertain. All we do know is that he has not contacted anyone in AEW. He's gone missing. He's been doing other projects while AEW try and erase him from their memory. He's not been advertised at all. There are no clips of him after this point in time from Double or Nothing, and it seems like AEW are trying to move on from MJF and erase him, while MJF is trying to move on from AEW and do other things. Now, people thought that MJF would return at this last Dynamite because we had Punk versus Moxley on Dynamite. People thought that this was going to be the main event for All Out, and the reason they're doing it on Dynamite is that so MJF can interrupt, and this would move their match back to All Out. However, we got a quite surprising ending instead, where Punk was absolutely squashed by Moxley, and there's no sign of MJF anywhere. So, for the near future, it looks like MJF has disappeared from AEW. Will we see him in WWE? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.